Hey folks, I'm Jack Fossett, and welcome to this demo and review of the LPD Pedals Dutch Overdrive. Now, this is a limited edition overdrive from LPD Pedals, and I do want to mention that if you're interested in this overdrive or some of their other limited edition release pedals, you need to join the email list. So I'm going to put a link to that right down in the description if you're interested in the Dutch or some others. He does put out limited edition pedals as well as having a regular line of pedals. I also want to mention this is a collaborative review that I'm doing with LPD Pedals, and when we were first discussing it, he said, well, I have a limited edition coming out. I said, well, what is it? And he said, well, it's an overdrive, and it's kind of like a Plexi and a Timmy had a love child and raised it in Arizona. And I thought, this is my kind of company. And sure enough, that's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. This is a rich, snarling overdrive that really evokes that hot rodded, plexi kind of brown sound distortion. And with the added punch, it really, really rips. In fact, when I plugged it in and hit a chord, my first thought was, wow, this thing really breathes fire. Which is a phrase I actually generally don't like, although I suppose I don't mind it so much with Guitar Gear. I don't tend to like it when people talk about guitar players that way. If you've ever, that guy, he's a fire breather, breathes fire. It's like Godzilla, he breathes fire. Well, actually, Godzilla has thermonuclear breath because he's a metaphor for human beings messing with nature, whereas a dragon, like Smaug, it's not pronounced smog, it's pronounced Smaug, he breathes fire because of natural occurring napalm, and all right, let's get back to the pedal. So you have 4 controls and 2 switches. You have level, gain, treble, and bass. You have your bypass and your punch. So that's what you've got going on for control-wise. Now, there's a lot of versatility in this pedal, and I want to talk about it a bit. As you heard, there's a pretty nice sweep on the gain. It can, even without hitting the punch, it can get pretty saturated and rip-roaring. When you back it off, you get more to classic Marshall plexi kind of territory, almost like an AC/DC rhythm kind of sound, like an earlier AC/DC rhythm, which also cleans up pretty well, as you heard. And so it's got some nice dynamic to it, and it's got a nice range there. One of the things that I really like about this pedal is the EQ, and I've talked about this in other pedal demos, but the EQ seems to affect very useful frequencies. So the treble, when you push the treble, it doesn't just get honking and awkwardly bright. It adds this nice bite and this nice edge and clarity. When you back off the treble, it doesn't just completely get Mud City. Now, your range on this is still kind of, I found, if you get all the way off, you're still going to get much darker sounding, and if you get it all the way up, it's still going to be pretty edgy. But there is a nice range, and it does seem to affect very, very useful frequencies. Likewise with the bass. If you push the bass, you're not just booming yourself right out, and if you pull the bass, you don't just get super thin. It seems to affect the frequencies that just would like compete with the band, right? So when you pull the bass back, it sounds like you're using a high quality, high pass filter in the studio, where you're just pulling some of those frequencies that would be muddying up with the bass and the drums. And if you push the bass, likewise, you're not just, it's not just adding that awkward low end that's, frequencies that are very unpleasing. It seems to add this nice kind of tight resonance to the bass, which is very, very useful. Then again, when you add the punch in on top of everything to just give you that extra bit of gnarliness, there's a lot you can do with this pedal. Tone shaping, there's a lot you can do with it just functionally as far as using it as a great sort of dual stage overdrive. Now, you just heard at the beginning with a PRS CE24 for a humbucker sound. I'm going into a Franklin Amps Tweed 5E3. For the next part, I'm going to use a Stratocaster because this also works really well to get some sort of Hendrixian tones, I found. And again, particularly tone shaping with the EQ. If you were to, be a little bit limited on the gain and push a little bit of the bass, you get these really cool vintage Hendrixian sounds, and then you can always kick on that punch when you need it for that extra level of oomph. Style-wise, I really like it. First of all, it's very well put together. You can tell it's a sturdy, it's a well-built pedal. It's got the nice soft touch switches, very sleek and modern design, which I like. It looks very professionally done. Nothing kind of cheap about this pedal, and I found that with the other pedal that I have of LPD pedals too, which is the 68, and I'll have a demo coming up of that as well. It's a very handsome pedals. They're very sleek. They're very, very well put together. They look modern in a very good way, not necessarily in like, there's something to be said for classic designs. These look modern in a very sleek and eye-catching way that I really like. So let us know in the comments, have you used LPD pedals before? Again, this is my first experience with them, and it's been a very positive experience so far. Again, this is a collaborative review. This is a limited edition pedal, and I'm going to put that link in the description as to where you can join the email list if you are interested in this or other limited edition pedals from LPD. Also check out their regular line. The 68 that I have is part of their regular line. So let us know what your LPD pedals experience is. Stick around for some tones here from the Stratocaster. I'm Jack Fossett. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.